I think this is going to have to be the final attempt of sorting this bath area because I'm over it, to be honest with you. Every single day I turn up to the tiny house and I do 2 hours of work and I end up leaving thinking, what have I actually achieved this morning? Because if you haven't got any experience in the building industry, you will not know what it's like to dig soil. It is honestly the most soul destroying thing ever because there is a thing called bulking spoil. If you don't know what a spoil heap is, it's just the excavated soil, and then when you put it in a pile, is always greater than the soil that was sat within the area you were digging. For example, if you're digging an area of 15 meters cubed within the ground, let's say that the soil is very gravelly and has got quite a lot of clay in it, well, that you then will times by a bulking factor. And for clay and gravel, it's 1.15. So therefore, a volume of 15 meters cubed within the ground, once it is taken out of the ground, it is now 17.25 meters cubed. This is why developing within London is an absolute nightmare, because especially if you're doing basement conversions, the amount that the soil bulks up once you've actually dug it out from below these terraced houses results in a need for more skips or grab lorries. If you don't know what a grab lorry is, it's just a lorry that grabs soil. It's kind of like that claw game that you get at arcades. It just picks up the soil and puts it in the back of the lorry. It's often a lot cheaper to use a grab lorry than fill an entire skip with soil. However, certain boroughs within London do not allow grab lorries. And actually on that, it might be quite helpful for you lot to know that it works out being a lot cheaper if you have, say, a semi-detached or a detached house, to just park your cars on the street and put a load of plywood or OSB down on the floor and then wheelbarrow all of the soil to that. And then a grab lorry can use its buckets to then lift all of that soil and take it all away, and that will work out being a lot cheaper. Another thing you're not really meant to do is, well, you're meant to get permits and pay the council if you have skips on the road. However, a lot of people, including me, just leave it hanging on the chains, and if you don't know what that means, it's kind of a little bit of a loophole, which is that the skip lorry turns up, parks as normal, and then lowers the skip to a kind of looking like it should be touching the ground, but it is in fact not touching the ground. It's hovering 5 centimeters above the tarmac, and then the skip lorry driver decides, well, do you know what, I kind of fancy having my lunch break right now, and you get 30 minutes to fill the skip as quickly as possible. And that is a way you can, instead of spending about 400 quid per skip, you're only spending 220 quid. Let's just say you're making an iceberg home in Chelsea. Well, you're going to require probably like 40 skips, and if you can get them for 50% off, yeah, you're onto a winner. Digging this bath is taking up so much time, and I think I'm getting to the stage where I need to put a pin in it, because in under 2 weeks I'm going to have to move into this tiny house, and I really am not looking forward to it. I've got quite a lot of work I still need to do. I need to get a toilet, a sink. At the start of the new year, I'm also getting a gym membership so I can use the shower there. As at the rate of this bath thing going on, there is no way that this shower bath is going to be ready by then. So my sort of plan is now to try and focus on the rest of the house and kind of forget about the bath shower area. But the only issue with that is the bath is actually quite important, because everything kind of is running from that stage, because obviously the plumbing and everything needs to all work together. And the crucial part with this lowered bath is the invert level of the waste. If you don't know what an invert level in plumbing and construction, it basically means the bottom of a pipe, the lowest point in, say, a drain or a sewer pipe, is super important, because you've got to be thinking about drainage and the flow of water. But not only that, especially when you've got a lowered bath, because if done incorrectly, there is a situation where the toilet will then flow into the bath, and that is not a good look. So it is super crucial that the wastewater drains all work properly, and I'm always working from this invert level. And obviously the deeper I dig for this bath, the more tricky that's going to be. And if you're thinking right now, God, Chris, this is sounding like a mess, I bet you wish you didn't start doing this. You are 100% right. I don't know why I've done this. My life is stressful enough building this tiny house in the morning before I go to work, but the added stress of doing something that I have no idea what I'm doing, like this bath, in comparison to, say, just installing a normal shower tray, yeah, it's making things just a little bit more challenging. So I think the plan of attack is to do a little bit more on the bath, kind of get the foundation pad stone sorted. And I have seen all the comments of people saying, Chris, you're digging down, that's going to fill with water, it's going to be a disaster. I completely agree with you, but you've got to remember the fact that I'm going to be lowering all of the land that is around the tiny house in the future, because the landscaping on this place is going to be incredible. And I honestly cannot wait to get on with all of that stuff. I also can't wait to get on with tiling this bathroom, because tiling really is the most enjoyable job you can do on a house, as it is really one of the final stages of a room. The plan for tomorrow is to probably get on and install the final internal stud wall, which divides the rest of the tiny house from the bedroom and this bath area. Now, once that wall is up, the next stage is really going to be insulating all of the walls, which I can't really believe we're getting to this sort of stage now. And I saw a comment which was, Chris, why haven't you fixed all of the plywood down to the floor joist? And that is because I haven't run any of the pipes to the places I need it to, and therefore it is 100 times easier to not have to unscrew floorboards and therefore just be able to easily lift it when I need to. Today's video is going to be slightly shorter than normal because today has been a mess, but if you have enjoyed it, please give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and Google Have Some Vision Substack. You need to start reading these newsletters. You will not regret it, trust me. So as always, I will see you tomorrow in a bit.